You'll do it. What for?
Hey, who's there?
Christ. Yeah. God be with you.
You don't have to worry about those bandits anymore. I've done.
Really? And I suppose I have to take your word for it.
If you want proof, I can take you to them. Maybe I should have brought you their heads.
I'll take your word for it. All right, a bargain's a bargain. Ginger is hiding out in a ruined hut not far from here. You go along the road to Ujits until you see a There's an overgrown path that leads from there right to where Ginger is. Keep your eyes peeled though. You could easily miss it.
Good. Thanks for your help.
Good luck to you. Yeah.
Jesus, you've led me a merry dance.
What do you want from me?
I want to ask you a couple of questions. Why did you run off like that? Where are your...
What?
Right, one thing at a time. Why did you kill that bandit?
What? Bandit?
This is yours, isn't it? I pulled it from the belly of a dead bandit near the stud farm.
That is mine, but I didn't stab him. That fellow took it from me.
What fellow?
I don't know his name, but he's from Ujits, and he has a limp.
What can you tell me about him? How do you know him?
I saw him a few times in the tavern in Ujits, playing dice and boozing.
And?
I know he lives in a house on the edge of the village, but that's all I know. I never talked to him.
And now tell me exactly what happened. And don't leave anything out.
That's quite a long story.
Don't worry, I won't get bored.
All right. I woke up in the middle of the night because I needed to go for a piss. So I went out into the dark, same as usual, only there was something there that shouldn't have been. At first I thought it was just a trick of the light, it wasn't. Then it was too late. They went past, and I thought they must be horse thieves. I would have yelled, only I was afraid they'd kill me. So I waited until they were out of sight, and I started to sneak away. But then...
Then the slaughtering started.
Yes. I thought they'd steal the horses and ride off. That would be bad enough. But then all the killing started, and flames. It was terrible, like hell itself.
And then?
It seemed some of them didn't like it either. They started squabbling among themselves, and some of them started running back where they came from, right towards me. And I had that thing in my hand, the hoof pick.
So you stabbed the first one in the belly?
No. He ran right into me. He was running fast for a fellow with a limp. He pushed me aside and I fell on the ground. Then he told me I'd better lie low if I valued my life. And he ran off with the others. And I did what he said and hid. Then the rest of the gang ran past.
And then?
Then I waited in case that limping one from Ujits came back. I didn't dare come out until I was sure.
What about the others? Was there anything you noticed about them?
I don't know. There might have been maybe 8 of them, and 2 of them were really big. That's all I can remember.
Do you know what they argued about?
I didn't hear everything, but I reckon some of them were only there to steal and wanted no part in the killing.
That sounds terrible.
If only I yelled. Maybe...
If you had, you'd most likely be dead. It probably wouldn't have done any good anyway.
But still...
There was nothing you could do. That's all. Why did you run off in such a hurry?
Because I was afraid they'd come back and kill me.
Who?
Those bandits, of course.
To get revenge on you for killing their mate?
Killing? Me? I never killed anyone. God is my witness.
And now tell me, and don't...
That's quite a long...
You don't have to tell me
I only recognized one of them. A fellow from Ujits with a limp. He lived...
What else do you know?
Nothing.
I've heard everything I need to...
Wait! What about me? Won't...
Perhaps I...
I'd like to go back to the stud farm, but those cutthroats who want to kill me are still...
They're out of the way. I ran into them on my travels.
Really? That's great.
What?
I'm afraid to go back to the farm. I ran away, and God knows what they'll think about it all.
Just try, and you'll see whether they drive you away or not. But if you explain it to them, they're sure to understand.
I suppose you're right. Thank you for your help, and God bless you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, well. Look who deigns to grace.
I was looking for that boy, and
And you didn't bother telling anyone.
I had to follow the trail before it went cold.
And what if some bandit skewered you and left you for dead? We'd never find you because you told no one where you were going. How would I explain that to Sir Radzig, eh? I really don't know, my lord. He disappeared without saying a word to
I...
Silence! Keep your ignorant mouth shut when I'm giving you the benefit of a veteran's wisdom. You do what I tell you, answer only when I ask, and not go roaming off whenever you feel like it. God have mercy on you if you ever try anything like that again. If you're lucky, I'll only have you whipped and clapped in the stocks, because if I get my way, you'll be hanged for desertion. I hope we've got that out of the way, and I've made myself absolutely clear.
I talked to Ginger and found out what happened.
Out with it, then.
Ginger fled because he recognized one of the raiders. He was afraid they'd come back to silence him.
Well, he was right. They were asking about him. So who did he recognize?
He didn't know his name. Some fellow with a limp from Ujits.
All right, since you've gone this far, you may as well ask around in Ujits. We've enough to do here in these parts anyway. Sir Radzig will tell you about it. He said to send you to him if you haven't already been.
Any chance of some work here, Captain?
It all depends on what you're ready. As I'm sure you've noticed, the roads around here, Sir Hanush has declared quite a reward for dealing with.
So what do you think I should do about them?
We know about one of their encampments. It's to the east of Ratai in an abandoned mine. I don't really mind how you deal with them. Anyway, the leaders generally wear spurs, maybe like they're pretending they're no... In any case, bring me the spurs, and I'll take it as proof.
Very well. I'll see to it.
Wait. In addition, Sir Hanush has offered a reward for every bandit who's killed. So take a good sharp dagger. You'll get a bit extra for...
Very well. That sounds amusing.
Well, as for amusement, I'd entertain my...
The Lord be praised. What brings you to me?
My lord, I managed to find a clue to the whereabouts of the bandits.
Excellent. Bernard already told me what's been happening, but I'd like to hear it straight from the horse.
The whole story, or just the gist of it, sir?
It's up to you what you consider important.
One of the Neuhoff stable boys, a lad they called Ginger, fled from there and hid out with some charcoal burners. I have to say, there's a lot of them around. I never thought how many forges and ironworks they have to supply.
That's true, but keep to the point.
Oh, yes, sir. I had quite a job finding him. He was well hidden and with good reason. The bandits wanted to kill him because he recognized one of them.
Did he tell you what happened?
He said it wasn't one gang, but two. And one of them took fright when the slaughter started. Seems they were only interested in loot, so they quarrelled with the other lot. Then it came to a skirmish in the woods and one of them was killed. And the rest of them scattered.
And did you find out where they went?
All I know is one of them is from Ujits. I know enough about him to be able to track him down.
All right, but those cutthroats must know who he is too, right? And if they want to get revenge on him or silence him, you'd better hope they don't get to him before you. So drop everything and get on his trail. Find out what he knows and then report back to me.
Yes, sir.
May the Lord watch over you.
Yeah.
Hey, wait
Yeah.
a moment. Wait, I need to
Wait a
talk to
minute,
you.
you're him, right? The boy from Scallids.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'd be
wait
with
a
you.
moment.
Can we trade?
If you've I'd be with you.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Good day to you.
I'm looking for a fellow who lives here, but I don't know his name. Do you know anyone?
Must be that farmhand Lubosh. I don't know what the hell you'd want him for, and I don't much care. He's got a cottage on the edge of the village near the...
May the Lord watch over you.
Yeah.
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
That's what you call nothing to see. I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh. Or all that's left of him.
Sacre. Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
When did you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now. And nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like...
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say... He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of...
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhof?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away...
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was.
How come he limped?
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time.
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately? Another thing... What's this? Looks like someone's hit him very hard on the head. Could they have bludgeoned him to death? An inscription in blood. It's a pity I don't know how to read. Looks like they wanted to give someone a warning. But who? An inscription in blood. It's a pity I don't know how to read. Looks like they wanted to give someone a warning. But who? And a bandit who knows how to write isn't something you see every day.
standing in the middle of a bloodbath. My respects to you.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Sir Hanush gives a job like that to a young fellow like you? Well, what do I care? Ask.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
I didn't see much of him lately, not even in the tavern. Not till yesterday in church, as it happens.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
I really don't know. As far as I know, he had no kin. And
That man Lubosh.
he was a strange one. Always drinking.
That's all.
God be with you.
Mother of God.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa.
Ask away.
Have you noticed anything suspicious?
The only thing seemed suspicious was how a rogue like him suddenly started going to church.
Do you know what Lubosh...
What do I care about that
Do you know who Lubosh used to spend time with? Kin or friends?
He was always a loner. Except later.
That's all. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Father, didn't I see you outside practicing swordplay? I wouldn't have expected that from a man of the cloth.
With a stick. I practiced with a stick. A reminder of my youth and days gone by, and it helps keep me in good form.
Do you have any work that needs doing?
My dear lad, I have more worries than I can bear. Another pair of shoulders would ease my burden. I have to deal with a local
A witch?
The herb woman, old Gertrude. That devious hag who will stoop to anything. Like all herbalists, for that matter.
Oh, don't tell me. The cows are giving blood instead of milk, and babies are being born with 2 heads and a tail.
This is no laughing matter. Gertrude isn't evil. She just has peculiar ideas about what's good for people. A little bird told me she incited some Ujet's women to witchery.
A little bird told you, did it?
You know how good people are at seeing the splinter in another's eye and not the beam in their own.
In other words, someone's been gossiping. And what's the problem?
As long as herb women stick to giving psychic to folk and bloated cows, assisting in childbirth, or burning incense in bedrooms to help with sleep. But this is sacrilege, and it's unsafe. All sorts of molds and lichens and poisonous plants and other foul... I want you to go and see her and find out what she's been up to. I know she lives in fear of the Holy Church, so tell her I sent you. That will make her talk. If you learn that she truly did involve folk in some foolishness, find out...
Consider it done.
Good. And never fear. I'm a man who always... May the Lord watch over you.
Jesus Christ. The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhof, which seems to be connected to a murder. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
A bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think...
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child, all sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to do about...
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the...
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I...
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son.
Father, surely you can't be serious.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
But Lubosh is dead. You can't hurt him, but if you don't tell me, more innocent people may die.
If I told you, I would be betraying a vow that's a cornerstone of the Holy Church. If people believed the sanctity of the confessional couldn't be trusted, the consequences would be even
worse than the death of innocent Christians. Worse than...
No one escapes punishment.
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhof raiders. Only he could tell me who was responsible for that massacre. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you wouldn't want...
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. Suppose we talk it over in the evening, in the tavern.
All right.
Good luck to you.
cabbage! Good day to you. I don't know nothing about it.
Have you noticed anything?
Come to think of it, he was in church yesterday. I was wondering what he was up to.
Do you know what Lubosh was?
I was coming from the tavern very late that night, and I caught it. He looked like he was in a hurry. It was only a shadow against...
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to...
Not with anyone from the village.
That's all.
Farewell.
And good health.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything. But maybe we can work... But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son.
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh.
Here.
I'm sorry. What about your kin?
They're dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, my girl, I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovna. Folk who tried to take refuge.
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest.
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujits, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Neuhof? The good folks hear about...
The rumours aren't exaggerated this time. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarrelled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh...
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Well then,
Hail for me.
Here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish. I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword. I wouldn't expect that of a man.
You know what they say. The Lord...
But this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were... These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise to keep me in...
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get... So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent...
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do... If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most...
I understand, but that means I've reached a dead end. Those cutthroats will strike again, and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
If I tell you what Lubosh told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But, first thing tomorrow, I'll try something I think might help you. On my soul.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the...
Well, Ujits isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard.
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. And a tongue-lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life with a nice... Especially if they're about fornication and similar...
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my...
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about the lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to... Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on... They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from... You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores, and while Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit...
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and...
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticises the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up...
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most...
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. It's getting quite late.
What do you suppose? We have...
That sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Przyszła bida mora lat, to nie ustoi żadnej chlap. Na kraj padł dziesnej smutek, do dnielo i rano utek, jakiż małżeński majstrat, do wczera żylne staje prak. Už sejmoj svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejbě jí kůži. Nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno a požerem si huby jako poslední den. Půlkem se vábí a do rána slávy a pak vypal sudy a posaď se mi sem. Tak posaď se sem a vypal je ven. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zítra jen tu jsou nejdem, tak nalej mi hned, ať točí se svět. Ty dneska vůbec nikdo neví, zase zítra Ježíš a není to naposled.
Enough of this!
Bailiff! Come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped, and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can ride is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
Oh. You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Добре, давай.
You! Stop right where you are!
Quick, everyone! Come here!
Surrender!
Stop that brawl before they beat each other to death! Somebody
Help!
help!
We're all there! Pull them off each other!
Help! Here!
What's the matter? Come on!
Help! There's a brawl there! Pull them off each other!
Don't weaker than...
Where could he have...
Good day to you.
The blessings of... Can I ask you if you...
It seems, sir, it's a bit of a lost soul. Simple.
Did you know that?
I'm sorry.
Do you... What?
Fuck there.
For heaven's sake, Father, can you really look me in the eye and tell me that when you know you made...
I can. Farewell.
Father...
I wouldn't. Suppose we...
All right.
Farewell.
Yeah.